Find out what it really means. It's an English word. It's in your English dictionary. Those of you who prefer English only, go look it up.
So what this is us finally standing up. It's about having children being raised in a society where they don't have to hear at football games, elementary, middle school, high school, and college and pros, signs where you got headdresses, where you got signs that says kill the Indians, skin them alive. The old terminology of slavery. We're only talking about the name. We're not talking about the football game. We're not talking about the players. We're not talking about all the people who do make a living off of this football franchise. That's not what we're after.
After 60 years of being in existence, why hasn't it been such a derogatory name? It's derogatory only coming the way you use it. They're not using it in any bad way. It's represent their organization. 60 years, now you crying about it?
I was born and raised in Maryland, born and raised a Redskins fan. Never had any problem with the name. We use it respectfully. I mean, there's so much history behind it. We never use it derogatory. Like, I don't want the Redskins to change the name.
I don't think it's a big deal. I don't want to change the name. I love it when the Cowboys whoop on the Redskins.
Our grandchildren are not your mascot. Give our children some honor and change the name. Change the name.
So I actually was editing this video, and in my editing, I decided I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into this whole Redskins situation. And it dawned on me that I wasn't really giving I wasn't doing justice to how I was necessarily perceiving and talking about this situation with Nike pulling Washington's apparel off of their website, to FedEx asking Washington to change its name, to talking about just the history of a lot of the tension between the Native American community and the Washington football team in the NFL. And I feel like, you know, as I went through editing this video and trying to piece it together, I needed to be a little bit more clear on what it is I really do believe, because deep down, when I really thought about this, I had kind of an epiphany about it. And whereas I never really thought about the Redskins name, I also didn't really give enough credence to the history of the Native American plight in America. And when I think about what really must be the driving factor for Native Americans wanting this change to happen, one word came to my mind, and it kind of brought tears to my eyes, because I really, truly can understand it now as a grown man with two daughters, son of immigrants from a far off land on the other side of the globe, who came to this country to live the American dream. And I understand it now, in that epiphany, far more deeply than I ever did before. The one word that came to my mind when I thought about why I really, truly should give a damn about it is legacy. And I think that legacy as a term is such an important part of the human experience. And for each and every one of us, we come into this world, and from the moment we understand that this is it for us. You got one life to live, and the only thing that will come after you, the only thing that remains when you're gone is your name. Your name and your heritage, your culture. Those things are the only true things you can pass on after you're gone. And what really struck me, and now I feel it and I can see why this is so important to Native Americans. My two daughters are biracial. And one thing that my wife does that I think is really an awesome thing, because she's from Japan, but she's half Japanese, half white. But she was born and raised in Japan. She teaches my daughters Japanese. You know, my parents would speak to my daughters in a little bit of Igbo, which is a Nigerian language. They, you know, they gave my daughters Nigerian middle names, you know, to from our culture side. They gave them those names just to infuse a little of the Nigerian culture itself into them, to attach that to them. You know, when you leave this earth, and we all will, the legacy of your people is the only thing that can outlast the individuals. The legacy. And in that legacy is your culture, it's your history, and everything that is associated with that is encompassed in the ones who will come after. You pass that information on, you pass those traditions on. Native Americans, their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, these people who have been here and seen so much that this country has done to their people, to the Native American people, that in and of itself creates such a resolve, because what will the legacy of Native Americans be? And to these people who live on reservations, who deal with epidemics of domestic abuse, alcoholism, all of these traumas that this Native American community across the country has fought with, that boil back in truth, it really goes to the fact that they were nearly completely genocided in the manifest destiny, quote unquote, of American culture. These people are fighting for the little dignity that they have. And they're fighting to cement that dignity and to pass that cultural legacy in the way that they see fit to those that come after. And you got to understand that they are almost gone. They are this close to being completely gone from this world. I think that is so tragic that we can't look at it from that perspective and say, you know what? Change the name. Change the name. Because it doesn't matter how long Washington has been called the Redskins. And it doesn't matter that we don't think, or we may not agree that it's a derogatory term and that it's something that actually strips away dignity from any amount of their culture that they have left. It strips that away. It exploits it. It monetizes it, and it turns it into a sellable product. I think that's tragic. I think that that is really tragic. I think that for a lot of the people that protest the Washington Redskins every week of the NFL season, I feel like that must be the driving force, is that they're the last remnants of their race, of their ethnicity, of their entire physical presence on this planet cannot be fulfilled and cannot be fully realized unless they have and own their own being, unless they own their own culture, unless they own their representation as an ethnicity in this country. I just don't think that we have the right, or that we should even feel to have the arrogance to think that we can own that and they can't, because that's just the final nail in what has been an annihilation of them as a people. I mean, I'm not blaming anybody I'm not blaming anybody right here, right now, but I'm just being real with you. And we got to be real for a second. In 100 years, there's a good chance they won't even exist anymore. There's a good chance that there won't even be Native Americans anymore. Or they'll be they're already such a small portion of our population. It's almost like seeing a leprechaun when you see a true Native American. I mean, and I don't mean to make light, but that's how rare they are now. So, to hell with all of that. Give them their due. Give them the final ounce and shred of dignity that they're asking for. And just change the name. I don't think it's that hard. I think to stand on that hill, to die on that hill, to rally against the changing of the Washington NFL football team's name, is just, at this point, you're just being a dick. You're just being a dick. You don't give a shit about them. So that's fine. That's you. I'm not saying it's anybody in particular. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But I was making a video and I had to come back on the camera and I had to just kind of reevaluate and re-express where I kind of stand in this, because I almost was indifferent to it. But I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right for me to be indifferent to what they're dealing with, because I can relate. We can relate. And anybody who can relate to it, who can relate to feeling as if your dignity is sometimes toyed with, that feel that sometimes respect for you is superficial, can't be indifferent. Can't be indifferent. So with all that being said, I just feel like, I feel like I had to come back on the camera and just kind of, put that out there. So let me know what you guys think. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Hit the like button if you like it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.